begin with our crumb topping. So we're going to start out with some softened butter and some cinnamon. Just going to mix that up a little bit, and then we're going to add some granulated monk fruit sweetener and also some brown sugar. You can use Swerve, whichever brand you like. And then whey protein isolate. And this is going to be our coarse crumbs and some oat fiber. I'm probably going to have to get in there with my hands to break it up just to make some, small crumbs. My butter was really soft. And last but not least, I'm going to add a couple drops of cinnamon oil. This is just the LorAnn oils that they use for candy making. That should be more than enough. It's really going to pack that punch of flavor. So you're just turning it into this coarse crumble that we're going to add to our batter. You can prepare this ahead of time. I'm going to put this in the refrigerator while we go on to the next step. Now on to our cream cheese filling. We're going to start off with cream cheese, and then we're going to use some monk fruit sweetener, and I would use the powdered kind. We're just dumping everything in. We're going to have some xanthan gum we're going to sprinkle in over the top. 2 eggs, whole eggs. So let me just smash these a little bit. Get them in there. Some vanilla extract. Some fresh squeezed lemon juice. And we're going to top it off with some zest. And we're just going to mix this by hand. The cream cheese was so soft, I figured this would be easier. Decided that the mixer is going to be better. You really want it to be smooth and creamy, and I wasn't able to get it that way with just the spatula. So this is the nice rich filling that we're going to be piping onto our Danishes. Now on to the fats portion of our batter, and we're going to start with this is homemade mayo. That into our bowl. And here we have some butter powder. Do some MCT oil powder, unflavored, and then some acacia fiber. And we're going to mix this around. We're going to add to the bread mixture at the very, very end when we add the crumble. We'll just have this set aside so it'll be ready to go. We're going to start by blooming our yeast. So with my quick read thermometer, I have 3 tablespoons of warm water. It's about 105, and that's about perfect. And I'm going to take some inulin, and you can use honey, you can use sugar if you want. The yeast will eat it. And then we'll do 1 teaspoon of dry yeast, and we're going to let that sit and bloom for about 5 minutes or so until it gets really thick and like a creamy oatmeal consistency. Now that our yeast is fully bloomed, look at how nice and thick that is. Let's prepare the pan. We're going to spray the silicone molds with some avocado oil spray. I'm going to spray maybe 7 molds. I don't think we're going to get more than that out of the batter. It depends. It's humid out right now, and I'm not sure how my eggs are going to whip up today. So now onto our batter. We have the bloom yeast. That's going to go in our big bowl. But let's combine all the other dry ingredients together first, and it makes it easier to combine when we do it in the mixer. So we have egg white protein powder. We have some gelatin. We have some monk fruit sweetener, acacia fiber, this is our monk fruit sweetener. I'm getting them mixed up. They're all white. Some cinnamon, and that was baking powder, I believe. And then we have some xanthan gum, and we also are going to have a little bit of allulose. And the one that I missed was cream of tartar. And so we're just going to stir this up into our mixing bowl with the flours. We're going to add, this is 6 fresh egg whites. And in this recipe, you need to use the fresh egg whites because the carton will not whip up. And then we're going to add the yeast, and pour in all of our dry ingredients. I'm gonna put it on our mix master on high, and we're gonna let it go for 5 minutes till it's fully whipped. At this time, it's the perfect opportunity to preheat your oven to 325. Now that the oven's preheated, we're just gonna mix this. I like to use the beater attachment to kind of get it combined. Our batter is nice and whipped. I'm just gonna pull some of this out, and I'm putting it with the fat portion that we made earlier, just to make it a little bit smoother before we put it back in. And we're just gonna stir this up. It's gonna make the batter deflate because it's the mayo and the butter powder and all the fats. When we put this in, we're only gonna give it a really quick little whip of the blades. At this point, we don't want to over whip it. We don't want to get any styrofoam like dryness that you get from the egg white protein bread once you add the fats. Pop some of this in. Stir just to make sure we got it all incorporated. It's kind of like marshmallow fluff. And then here's our crumbles. We put it back in the refrigerator so they got a little hard, and you just kind of want to break them up so again they resemble the coarse crumbs. Almost looks like ground beef. But we're going to pour this in and just hand stir this in. And I did prepare a bowl because we're going to pipe these in. We're going to cut a large corner off the Ziploc bag so we have a nice big pour, because we don't want the crumbs to block the opening. It smells very cinnamony. My favorite. It looks like this. More like a cookie dough batter. Like one with chocolate chips. Shake it down to the corner. And again, this is our prepared molds. I'm gonna cut quite a large opening so that our crumbs don't get stuck. And I'm just gonna go around. I want more on the edges than I do in the middle. My batter is a little bit thin. It's raining outside right now. I really like this if it would be thicker, but I think it will do. So now I'm kind of rethinking that I should have done 7. What's done is done. So now I have the cream cheese mixture, and I'm just gonna put this in a piping bag because I think it'll be easier for me to get it on there. And kind of go around. I should have made 7. We're gonna put these in the oven. They're gonna go in for 15 minutes. And as soon as that's done, we're going to brush the sides with an egg wash. So to prepare our egg wash, it's gonna be 2 whole egg yolks and 2 teaspoons of heavy whipping cream. And we're just gonna mix it up real good. So these are now fresh out of the oven, and I'm gonna brush the sides with egg wash. I'm not gonna go over the cream cheese mixture. Yep, I should have done 7. But while these cool, Therese will get started on the caramel sauce.
Let's get started with our caramel sauce. Yeah. So we're gonna put our pan on medium heat, medium to low, I'd say. And I'm gonna add butter to the pan and brown sugar and a little allulose. And we're just gonna let that all melt down.
It already smells so good.
And it already looks like those square little caramels. So we're gonna let this come to a boil for about 3 to 5 minutes. Turn it up just a bit. Give it a little stir here every once in a while. Keep an eye on it so it doesn't burn. So I've taken off the heat, our caramel, and I'm going to add whipping cream. And then I'm going to add it back to my heat and bring it to a boil for another 3 minutes. Next, we're going to add in our xanthan gum and whisk that in. Then we're going to add our salt. Now our caramel sauce is right to the good consistency we were looking for, and we're just going to pour it into a container and let it cool. Smells delicious.
It does.
So our caramel is cooled. Let's get working with some of those Danish. They look so good.
They do.
They do.
So Teresa's gonna drizzle the caramel on top, and I'm gonna embellish with some chopped pecans.
That sounds delicious.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that's so good. So yummy.
Just a hint of sweet.
And just a little bit of nuts for flavor. The best part.
Exactly, the taste testing, of course. Oh, my caramel's getting a little thick.
Well, if that happens, we'll just zap it in the microwave a little bit.
Exactly. You don't want to cheat that one.
I was gonna say, you're being a little stingy with the caramel.
Stingy with the caramel. There we go. Good.
A little bit more. A little more.
A little more.
You know, I always like extra.
Well, if you're going to indulge, you want to get the full flavor.
Wow, this is a good indulge.
I think
this
so.
isn't bad.
There we have it. I'm ready for a cup of joe.
They look amazing. I cannot wait.
Yes, let's get in there and try some.
Do this here.
Good.
Look at the inside.
Oh, and the crumble and the cheese.
And if you're hungry for more recipes like this,
don't forget,
subscribe to our channel, and don't forget to hit the notification bell. Okay, dig in.
See you next time.